This morning, the story that will not go away for President Trump, and not go away because Republicans on the Hill are joining in the MAGA chorus demanding more transparency on the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. This is reaching something of a bipartisan fever pitch right now and creating the most bizarre alliances. MAGA influencers, congressional Republicans, and congressional Democrats essentially teaming up against the Trump administration and its handling of a case that went away in 2019 when Jeffrey Epstein died in jail, sparking a flood of conspiracy theories on the right. Even House Speaker Mike Johnson is now speaking out, calling on the Department of Justice to release whatever files they still have on the sex trafficking investigation. President Trump, after years suggesting he would release files and wanted them released to the American people, now says he just does not get it why people care.
I don't understand it, why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Attorney General Pam Bondi, for her part, is not budging, maintaining that after their review of the files, there is nothing to see. House Democrats, as I mentioned, they're really jumping in now. They tried to force the Justice Department's hand here by putting an amendment in an unrelated bill to release the Epstein files. That failed, but that's not stopping Democrats from trying to exploit this break, this fissure between President Trump and his party. CNN's Kevin Liptak is joining us now starting us off from the White House this morning. Where is this headed today, Kevin?
Well, it's certainly not dying down, which had been the expectation of people inside the White House when we were talking about this yesterday. Certainly the president's supporters still very upset about all of this. And it's not clear that the president saying that he doesn't understand it, saying that, quote, only very bad people are interested in this, is going to have the effect that he hopes it has. And a lot of the ire still continues to be directed at the Attorney General Pam Bondi, who, remember, only a few months ago said that she had the Epstein client list on her desk ready to review, but then in that memo last week said that such a list did not exist. Now, we heard from Mike Johnson, who is about the biggest ally of President Trump's in Washington. He was asked about that comment from Pam Bondi. Listen to what Johnson said.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide. Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody.
So clearly now a lot of pressure mounting on the Justice Department to put out more information on this. And in fact, you did hear from President Trump yesterday, even as he tried to dismiss all of this, say that he thinks that Bondi should put out more information if it is what he calls credible. But at the same time, he sort of diminished the possibility that such a credible list might exist, saying that it was created by his political rivals. We've also heard Democrats call for hearings on Capitol Hill, people who are associated with Epstein in the Justice Department. We also heard from Tim Burchett, the Tennessee Republican, saying that he wants to hear from the Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, saying that she should come and testify on Capitol Hill. She's, of course, serving 20 years in prison in Tallahassee. Not exactly clear how that would work. But in that interview, Mike Johnson said that he was open to that, saying that he's, quote, all for transparency.
The calls are growing from within President Trump's party to release more information about the case around Jeffrey Epstein. So as the base continues to revolt over Epstein into the second week, some of the president's House allies basically want to see more transparency. Earlier this year, Pam Bondi, Attorney General, told Fox News a list of Epstein clients was, quote, sitting on her desk for review. You can see an image there of Mike Johnson, who's also moved on this issue. Sources are now telling CNN that she was actually referring to files which were later given to right-wing influencers at the White House in big folders labeled the Epstein Files Phase 1. President Trump still seems confused why so many in his party are preoccupied with this.
I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going.
group chat is back. CNN has done some polling on the issue and found that 3% of Americans are satisfied with the amount of information released on this case. That dissatisfaction along party lines isn't even that far off. As always, I care about the independence number, which is now at 52%. And Democrats getting religion, very interested now, Maria. 56% are like, hey, we need more information. I don't know who wants to jump in here. Is there a clean way out?
I think politically for Democrats right now, they are doing the right thing in terms of fanning the flames, because this is something that is going to be very detrimental to Trump and Republicans if they don't quell their base. That's the point. The fanning of the flames for Democrats needs to show MAGA base, the podcasters who were so supportive of Trump are the ones who are now saying, we need more information. He's not doing what we thought he was going to do. We did not vote for this. If Democrats continue to underscore that, as opposed to just chiming in ourselves about how this needs to be something because it's important for the American people, right?
Yeah.
That's what we need to be doing, is underscoring how this could be the one thing, Adi, we have always asked, what is the one thing, if it exists, that would make the MAGA base turn on Trump? It certainly wasn't him shooting somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Exactly.
This could be it.
And I should show a Truth Social post from the president basically saying, why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey? I mean, it's the rogues gallery. It's all the things. All the things. Just put them in there. And the response in general, not been great. Can I give the last few seconds to you?
Yeah, that's right. Not been great. This goes to Donald Trump's core, right? This idea that he was an outsider who was going to come in and crack heads.
And QAnon lore, he's the savior.
He is the savior to do this. And now for him to say, oh, there's nothing to see here, why are people up in arms? It goes directly against his identity and the identity of people he picked for these offices. Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. So
Dan Bongino especially.
Don Bongino, exactly.
Joining me now is Holly Baltz, an investigations editor with the Palm Beach Post. Holly, good morning to you, and it's so great to have you. You and some of your colleagues have covered Jeffrey Epstein extensively, going back years and years. Having said that, I'd like to first get your reaction to President Trump now claiming that the Epstein files were made up by Democrats like Barack Obama and Joe Biden. He's also blaming former FBI Director James Comey. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting statement, because his administration under the Justice Department arrested and charged Jeffrey Epstein in 2019. Jeffrey Epstein never goes away. He's a subject of constant attention and fascination. I can tell you, we've been covering him since he was originally arrested here in 2006. And, he will always be around, it seems. So yeah.
Yeah, and, Pam Bondi is trying to stand her ground for now. She says that the DOJ's controversial memo, the very memo that so infuriated so many in the MAGA world, quote, speaks for itself. How tenable is this position that Bondi is in right now, Holly, both when it comes to standing behind that DOJ memo, but also just in terms of keeping her job?
Well, it's hard to speak to her keeping her job. I think writing this thing out seems an extraordinary thing to do, because again, the Jeffrey Epstein case has attracted so much fascination. It does always feel like there is something going on behind the scenes, or has been, that people don't know about. It looks to me like it's kind of a matter of over-promising and under-delivering. I'm not clear why she said these things would be released, that they were being redacted, and then suddenly, no, we're not going to release them. DOJ investigated Epstein, not only in 2019, also investigated Ghislaine Maxwell, and she was convicted. but they also did an extensive investigation after the case in our county, and as to whether federal prosecutors, were correct in the way they handled that case. So there's all that investigative material that they could release. There's probably some of it available in the court case on the federal court level, but I would suspect there's more, and they could redact it and release it.